So AH finally speaks about the verdict in Virginia, and her defense, it is as desperate as they come. See, she's saying that it doesn't matter that she lied or got caught lying, that JD, he proved that these things weren't real. It matters if she believed those things were real. If she believed it, you can't have actual malice. Therefore, you need to set aside the verdict and let her win by default. That's why she is so mad that her therapy records and communications weren't filed as quote-unquote mountains of medical records. Why? Because she says she listened and believed herself. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. By the way, I hope you are doing excellently. So after months, AH is speaking up in the form of her appeal, and man, this stuff, it is something. See, AH has decided to come out and say it doesn't matter whether JD proves that I lied about something or not, that it's not enough in the courtroom. He not only has to prove that this did not occur, but rather to establish actual malice. That's what the jury found by clear and convincing evidence. He was required to offer affirmative efforts that AH did not believe that he had accosted her or entertained serious doubts about whether he had done so. So he disproves this stuff. That doesn't matter. What matters is her mindset. Now, this actually clarifies why she and her lawyers lied time and again, saying that she has medical evidence when her medical evidence, it's communications. See, she says that she communicated with medical providers. She communicated with third parties, including employees, friends, and families. And she says that it doesn't matter whether those are true or not because they look at her state of mind. A statement that is offered to prove state of mind is not hearsay because it is not offered for its truth. And for JD to prove actual malice, he has to look at her state of mind. Now, the court ruled that all of this, it's hearsay. But AH is saying, no, I need all of that back. Why? Because I can't win otherwise. You'll notice, by the way, they have officially moved the timeline of her accusations to. They go all the way back now officially to 2011. So she's moved the timeline at least a half a dozen times. But listen to this here. The Virginia hearsay rules preclude introduction of an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted only if the statement does not fall within one of the recognized exceptions to the rules. One exception is for statements made for the purposes of quote-unquote medical diagnosis or treatment. Now, they continue by saying that all of this stuff should have been introduced as evidence. So it should have been read to the jury. Why? Well, it doesn't matter whether it's true. It speaks to her state of mind. Quote, separately, the trial court should have admitted AH's prior statement about JD's accosting and non-hearsay assertions offered to prove AH's state of mind. It is black-letter law that statements admitted as evidence of an individual's state of mind are not hearsay. Quote, a statement that is offered to prove state of mind is not hearsay because it is not offered for its truth. Because of JD's burden to prove actual malice, AH's subjective state of mind regarding whether this accosting occurred was a primary issue in the case. Thus, evidence that she subjectively believed that she was a victim of said accosting. CAH has the audacity to go on record and say that it doesn't matter if JD proved that this was a hoax. This wasn't enough because you also have to prove that she subjectively entertained serious doubts about the truth of these matters, but she published these things anyway. She sets up a hoax. She carries it for years. But hey, since she talked to some people as part of that, that doesn't matter. Listen to this argument she's trying to make. Actual malice is a term of art that means that the defendant either knew her statement was false at the time she published it or published it with reckless disregard as to its truth, i.e., that she quote-unquote subjectively entertained serious doubt regarding its truth but published it anyway. In defamation by implication cases such as this one, establishing actual malice requires making a second showing. Not only was JD required to show knowledge of or recklessness in regard to the falsity of the statement's defamatory meaning, so not only was he supposed to prove that she flagrantly lied about this stuff, he was also required to demonstrate that, quote-unquote, either the defendant intended to communicate the defamatory meaning or knew of the defamatory meaning and was reckless in regard to it. AH goes all in on this argument too, saying that even if the court concluded that the record contained clear and convincing evidence that AH knew at the time of publication that her op-ed communicated to readers the implication she was asserting that JD had accosted her. So, the thing that she denied again and again, yeah, even if it was there, the record contains no evidence that she knew or thought it likely that such a statement was false. So listen to how this comes together. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. In this regard, it bears emphasis that there is a significant difference between proof of actual malice and mere proof of falsity. So proving that it's a lie isn't enough. Nah, you have to be able to talk about her mindset. JD cannot prevail merely by proving that the accosting, her claims, not something published, but her claims did not occur. Rather, to establish actual malice by clear and convincing evidence, he was required to offer affirmative evidence that AH did not believe that he had done this or entertain serious doubts about whether he had done so. JD alleged that the op-ed falsely implied that AH was a victim of DV by him because actual malice standards are subjective. Whether AH believed JD accosted her must be judged by her own state of mind. So, his proof doesn't matter. Him disproving claims, nope, got to set that by the wayside. You have to figure out whether or not she believed this stuff was real. I mean, what a crazy argument. This is her speaking out, though. This is her trying to win. Yeah, oh man, what an argument, right? But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, appreciate you. I cannot say that enough. Thank you for being here. Leave a comment too. Also, share this stuff around. Want to help out the channel more? There are links in the description. And thank you. I'm going to end here. Share this though. Make sure everyone sees it. This stuff is out there.